Hello, book besties.
I'm Albie.
And I'm Nikki,
Welcome to Backstage with the Book Babes.
where we spill the tea on the secret lives of your favorite romance authors.
We can't wait to introduce you to our guest author today. She writes Romantasy and Sci Fi Romance. But first, how have you been, Nikki?
Oh, I'm good. Other than we're getting ready for the Rose City Romance event in 2 weeks. I can't believe it's that close now. But Albie and I are both going. And they sent me my author copies. I ordered author copies from Bookfold for the first time. And they're my new book, and they're a misprint. So I got these weirdo covers. Like, what did they do to the title here? I have no idea. So I'm a little sad about that, but I emailed them. We'll see how it goes. I'll update you on the saga. I only ordered 20 copies, so I'm going to order them from KDP. They'll still be here in time for the event, but I'm just a little squirrely about it,
Oh, yeah.
But I will say, the quality is nicer than the ones we get from KDP. So, the cover stock is nicer, the color is nicer, but I don't know what they did with the printing. So we shall see.
Oh my gosh. Well, hopefully that gets fixed.
That's my drama of the day. How about you?
Yeah. I actually just got back my dev edits from my editor for Bro Awesome, which comes out in June. Reading through it, I'm like, I agree with all of this, and she's brilliant, and I'm so glad she's on my team.
Yeah.
But now I'm also like, I have to fix all these things. So it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'll just be panicking in the corner. Don't mind me.
That's fine. I'm here panicking too. So that's what we do, right?
It's really what we do best, awkward and panic. So that's what's going on with us. But now we are very excited to introduce you to Catie O'Neill, a huge book babe. Welcome to you, Catie.
Welcome.
So excited to be here.
Yeah. We're excited to have you.
Yeah, I'm glad you were able to come on today. So you're blending different genres, and I don't know that I've seen Romantasy around, but I've never seen sci-fi romance. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about your books?
Yeah, sure. So actually my sci-fi romance was my first book, and I have it here. I also got a fancy special edition sprayed edge.
Ooh.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
But same thing. I mean, I love sci-fi growing up. I read all the old school, super misogynistic stuff. And I wanted something a little bit better. And I love reading Romantasy too. But, having the STEM background, I thought it would be fun to move that to another planet instead of a fantasy world. And that's kind of what I did. So this book is about Kate, who's an engineer, conveniently has a name very similar to mine. Not suspicious at all. And she finds out that, she's been really struggling dating in her 30s. She's kind of given up on it. She meets this guy at a grocery store, and they hit it off, but something's really off about him, and she finds out that he's an alien. So most people would be weirded out by that. She's super excited because she's always wanted to go to space, so it works out really well for her. And she gets to go and visit the planet, which is half tech-based, half nature-based, and she kind of gets thrown into a political battle between the two because her boyfriend has this special status where he has one parent on each island, so she gets to visit both and explore. And then things turn crazy. So I won't say any more because I don't want to spoil anything, but that was that one. My second book, I did go into Romantasy because I do love Romantasy, and I wrote Touch of Clandestiny, another sprayed edge version. I love my sprayed edge.
Those are pretty.
This one is about a princess's magical powers, and her father is descending into madness, and he uses her to torture his enemies, and she just gets fed up with it. She's always talking back to him. He treats her like garbage, so he assigns his shadow daddy guard to babysit her, not knowing that he's been in love with her since they were kids. So that doesn't go well for the king. And then after that, I started my series, which is, I love doing the mashups because I just think that they're so much fun. My first book won a Best Multi-Genre Award in the Indieverse Awards last year, which was really exciting. But I love doing the mashups. So now I'm doing a series, more sprayed edges. This is the first book, To Dust Do Us Part, in the Hearts Bound by Dust series. And then book 2 just came out, To Heaven to Hex. And this is like a witchy romantasy, paranormal romance meets like a murder mystery. You can't say murder mystery on Instagram, so I say whodunit mystery.
Yeah,
but
seriously.
They're really fun. I'm really, really, really proud of those. I love them all differently for different reasons, but that series is really good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you told us a little bit about how you got started writing sci-fi romance. You mentioned that you're in STEM as well. What is it that you do?
Yeah, so I have an engineering degree. I'm like mid-level management, so now I just do like boring Excel stuff. I love it, but most people find it boring. But that was why I wanted to write that book, because during COVID, I hadn't bought my own house yet. I was still living with my parents, and I was working from home for a couple months, and I was just so tired of being home with my parents all the time. And I started writing a book because I had a dream about this fantastical planet. So I really just built the planet, wrote this terribly boring story with no conflict and no villain, no nothing, and that was it. And I was just going to leave it at that, leave it in a drawer. And I started actually interviewing other indie authors, and they had convinced me that I could do this and I should take it seriously and publish the book. And, I went through all the proper avenues to do it. So that one actually took me 4 years to get published, because I was only going to print one copy for myself, and that was it. So I did add conflict. I did add villains. I added all the right things that need to be in there. It's not just Kate exploring the boring planet like it was at first. It's way more fun now.
Sounds like fun.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm glad they convinced you to do it and that
Me
you
too.
decided. Yeah.
Yeah. Now they're stuck with me.
Nice. Yeah. Love that.
So, Love and Other Alien Concepts, then that was the first book you wrote. You didn't have, I'm just so impressed, like, when authors have a manuscript and, like, that's the first one that they publish. Cause I'm like, I wrote one, put it in the drawer, wrote one, put it in the drawer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
a lot of my friends are like that too. But no, this was the first one. And like I said, it wasn't even a real story. It was just this planet that I built. Because I had this really cool workbook, and I just really wanted this awesome planet. So then after that, like I said, I did decide to take it seriously. I discovered the Saves the Cat Beats, went through all of that process, and turned it into a real book. Joined a writing group.
Nice. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
That's awesome. So one thing we always like to ask about is your inspiration, because we find that's one thing that readers always love to hear about. So can you tell us a little bit about your inspiration for the books, and then how do you decide which one you're going to write next?
Pretty much every single one of my books has come from a dream. And it's really weird because I never thought I really had very vivid dreams. Every time I've had a good dream, it's turned into a book, pretty much. And what's crazy is this one, the dream that I had to create this story, the scene that I had the dream of wound up getting cut from the book. It's not even in the book, which is wild, but I just think that that's so funny. So the Love and Other Alien Concepts came from a dream of this really cool planet that was half tech, half nature. Touch of Clandestiny, actually, I was watching Shadow and Bone, and I was also reading one of my friend's like super duper erotica books at the same time. And I had this dream of two people having a good time and this like zombie stag trying to break into a castle. So that's how the book starts. And I had nothing else after that. And then it just all stemmed from there. But I do some of my best thinking in the shower. I don't know why I always have epiphanies in there, but it always starts with the dream.
That's so cool.
I love that. I think the running water, like, for some reason helps with ideas. So I get it.
Yeah.
Flows them loose. I just get the ideas all the time, though. So it's not really.
Oh, you're
Oh
lucky.
my gosh.
Mine are only
Whenever
when
I'm
my
doing
brain
some-
is turned off, which is in the shower or if I'm driving to work. That's it.
Oh, that's awesome. So your first book, I think the first two of them were standalones, right? And now you're doing the series, the Hearts Bound by Dust. Do you know how many books are going to be in that series?
I'm going to say yes, but every time I say a number, it winds up changing. Originally, it was supposed to be a standalone. Then it turned into a trilogy, which now I'm writing the last book in the trilogy now. It's going to my editors, copy and line edits on April 1st. So it's pretty much done. But now I have side characters that I love so much, and the way that this third book ends, I didn't want to leave that world, so it was going to be one more follow-up book of some side characters. Now that's already changed into 2 follow-up books. I think that's where it's going to stop, so it's going to be the original trilogy and then 2 follow-up books.
Yeah, perfect.
Those side characters are wily.
Yeah, they are.
They're always, especially in the series, they're
they have main character energy is the problem.
Yes.
You've relegated them to side character status, but they have main character energy. Yeah, they're not happy about it.
That's very clear in this third book for sure.
And so your series, is it like it's a trilogy, so is it the same characters you're following throughout, like the same main characters you're following throughout?
Yes. Yeah, so there's one FMC, Anna, and then 2 male characters, Killian and Constable Michael Sheehan. And they are both the love interests. So it does, I know a lot of people hate love triangle, so I do always warn, it is love triangle in the first book, but it does turn into like a why choose throuple kind of thing. So don't get disheartened by the love triangle. And I love them.
I love that.
But yeah, it follows those 3. And then there are other characters introduced in book 2 and book 3 that the other stories are going to spin off of. I don't want to spoil anything because the first book is so twisty that I can't talk about the second or third without ruining it. So I won't say anything else.
That's nice. That's all we need to know, though, that they all get together.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's a comfort to us.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
They're so cute. I love it. It's the best part.
And then can you tell us a bit about your writing process? Like, are you a plotter, pantser, or something in between?
Definitely a plotter. Wholeheartedly. Like, I do a massive outline with the Saves the Cat beats. I plan out all of my characters. I've planned them all differently. Like, the first book was easy because Kate is basically just a cooler version of me, like who I want to be. And the MMC was just a nice guy that kind of reminded me of one of my friends. My second book, I wanted to do something different, so I made her completely opposite of me, and I actually really hated her until the end of the book. So if you read Touch of Clandestine and you hate her, I did too. You'll like her more as it goes on. Don't worry, stick with it. But I wound up using the Enneagram types to define them, which was a really cool character building exercise. And then for the Dust series, I started with zodiac signs. So that was really interesting too. But I find that to be really, really helpful. But what's also really interesting is after I had that initial dream of what this book was going to be about, I made a joke that, like, my mom's always joked that I was a witch in a past life because I love Halloween. I'm always so dark sense of humor. I hate things tied around my neck and I'm afraid of fire. So she thinks that that's how I was, that I was hung and burnt at the stake because I was a witch in a past life. But what's crazy is when I started writing this, because I'm such a plotter, it wound up being so different from what I plotted because the witch took over. And I swear she wrote that entire first book, and I have no idea where it came from, other than that it had to be a past life or something. But it's twisted.
That's awesome.
That's cool, though. I like that.
It was fun. Weird experience for me.
Sometimes it is. Feel like sometimes the characters just take over on you.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah. It was worth it. She did a great job.
And when your muse is taking over and you're sitting down to write, do you have any specific places you need to write or music or snacks or anything like that?
I am so boring. I can't listen to music or anything else when I write. I always sit at my desk and I always write at my desk on my laptop. I can't work any other way. I can edit with music on or with stuff going on, but I can't write like that. And sometimes I'll snack, but I try not to do that because I just mindlessly will eat the entirety of whatever is in front of me. So I just have my cup of tea and try to avoid eating anything.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I have water today, but we're going with water today.
So
we always have our emotional support cups of tea, so we're good.
Oh my!
What's your favorite kind
Never
of tea?
far. I do green tea all day.
I like green tea.
Yeah.
I like
I've
a
been on an
mint
oolong
tea,
kick. Mint tea is
like
good
mint,
too.
and then I also like something citrusy or just like a straight up Earl Grey or English breakfast kind of tea.
Nice. These are all my
I
favorites.
always wish I could do mint, but when I lived in Australia, we had this really great minty bath wash. And so now every time I try to drink, I can't drink mint tea because I think of the bath wash that we had.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to drink that either. I get it.
Yeah, it just makes me so unsettled that I'm like, I can't do this.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh my.
Smell association.
Exactly. So you said that you work in STEM, and so I think all of your FMCs, right, are also in STEM or at least male-dominated field.
So it's harder to do that in some of the fantasy stuff because it's just weird. So my new book will have more of a STEM kind of thing, but the sci-fi it was a little bit easier because I just feel like in that world of space and space travel, it's easier to incorporate engineers. So my princess in the second book is not STEM at all. Like I said, she's the opposite of me, but I actually wound up really, really loving her. And then in the Dust series, she's not STEM either, but she has a lot of my other shared qualities. Like she loves gardening and cooking. But she is very much like I'm the boss in the man's world. So I did channel that energy there. But now my collab project that I'm working on with 6 other authors, we're all writing different books on one map. It's all going to be a big Kickstarter that we're releasing together, which I'm really excited about. That character is going back to my STEM roots. She's going to be... she's a hopeful tinkerer, but they don't let women in the Tinkerers Guild. So you can see where that's going.
So she's going to smash some barriers. I like it.
Yeah.
I love her.
Will this be the first Kickstarter you've done, or have you done other Kickstarters before?
No, I haven't. So I've wanted to, but I've been too afraid to. So it's really nice because we have 2 people in the group that are experienced with them. So I'm learning to be able to do it myself. I very silly have just fronted everything myself every time, even when I do PR boxes. So maybe I can use Kickstarter for I want to do a big PR box for the full set of these guys. But I tend to really overspend on PR boxes. To try to avoid that this time.
So how is that going working with 6? Because you said there's 6 of you. How is that going? 7? Oh my gosh. Yeah. So how are you all sitting down and agreeing that this is how the world works and going through all the systems together?
We meet once a month and we kind of in the beginning hashed out all of that kind of stuff. And then we have a Slack that we discuss things on in an Instagram group. But we basically had like one central kingdom, and we had one goal of what was going to happen. And basically, I think we already shared this, so I think it's okay that I'm trying not to like break any rules. But we have basically the central kingdoms declared this edict that all of the different species have to go back to their homeland, and his hunter syndicate is hunting down anybody that's not where they're supposed to be. So we all have a different species, a different spot on the map, and we have some crossover characters. So, for instance, my main character's sister is my friend Hope's main character. So she wrote, the one sister, I wrote the other sister, and about how they're separated. But I've read a couple of them, and they're really good, and I'm really, really excited about this. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I'm excited to see how it goes.
Me too.
When is it launching?
We're launching the pre-thing, whatever it is, like the announcement that it started, I think next week. And then we are opening it in October, September? I think September.
Okay, that's good. Awesome. Well, that's good because then when your episode comes out, your pre-launch will already be up, so everyone can hop on there and pre-order it.
Yeah, that'll be great. I'm really excited. I'm already pre-ordering like the top tier because they're going to be so gorgeous.
Yeah.
We've been doing art and stuff. I just got my art today, actually. My self art piece that I got. We are doing ones as a group, but I hired a friend of mine's boyfriend's son's boyfriend, and he's doing chibi art for me.
Oh, cute.
And they are so cute. They look so great. So I just have the sketch right now, so I'm not sharing it yet, but I'm really excited about it.
Those make super cute stickers too.
Yes, super cute and social media posts. Like I just love having that little character.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm very excited to share that.
So you're talking about your FMCs and their STEM jobs and male-dominated jobs. So when picking the job for each of your FMCs, how much research are you doing into that?
Weirdly, not very much, because I've based it on stuff that I'm very familiar with already. Like I said, if you read Kate, I mean, it's a lot of personal experiences I've had. None of them are like actual stories that happened to me. I had people message me because there's this one character that is awful to her. And I had people reach out to me like, did somebody at work really treat you like this? No. Wasn't that bad. Similar, but not that bad. It's not based on anyone, but I do have a lot of those similar experiences and the kind of stuff that she goes through and the knowledge that she knows. I did have to research a lot in that book, black holes, weirdly, so I could have the space travel make sense.
Fun. I love black holes. They're so fun.
I went down a black hole of black holes.
So good.
Yeah, so you got to read it and tell me if I did okay, because I was really scared that people were going to come for me, and I thought, maybe if there's enough romance, they'll just focus on how happy they are and not care about my black holes.
For the most part, yeah. Unless you're doing like a hard sci-fi book, I think people are like,
they're pretty
there has to be some level of fantasy involved with the travel, space travel and everything, right?
Yeah, so I think I did okay there. And this one, I did do a little bit of research just because I'm really experienced with like tools and building things, but not the stuff that she was building. So I did have to research like what parts go into an animal trap and things like that.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool.
But not too much.
Awesome. So you said that you have some like side characters with like main character energy, and having written so many books, do you have a favorite character that you've written? Yeah.
I'd like to say it's the one I base on me, but no, she's she's not. My female main character, Anna, in the Dust series, I love her. Absolutely love her. And the layers that I build into her as the series goes on, she just signifies how twisted my mind is, and I'm very proud of that because she was a very complicated character. I am proud of all of my main characters, but probably her the most because it was the toughest for me.
Sometimes writing a character that's very different than you is a little even more rewarding, just because you're kind of experiencing a whole different point of view, which is fun.
Well, and that was Cecilia for me, writing a character that was total opposite of me. I'm very boring. I come home, I put on my sweatpants, I hang out with my dog. Cecilia is like with all of these men. She's always drinking. She's having so much fun. She's always talking back to people, and like total opposite of me. And when I first wrote her, I'm like, she's such a brat. Like, I really hate this character. And as it went on, I'm like, she's kind of a badass. I wish I was more like her. And I just kept writing her, and I'm like, yeah, this is good energy. And it's interesting because I feel like I grew more appreciation for people that are different than me, even though I never didn't have it, but it made me want to go out and meet more people that are different than me and get to know them, because I loved her so much by the end of it that it just made me feel like I need to leave my house more.
I think that's just one of the beautiful things about reading, right? Is you get to experience different people's views and views and cultures and countries they live in. Like, that's just part of the fun.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I love it. But I get you. I do the same thing. I like to come home. I put on my sweatpants. I have my indoor clothes and my outdoor clothes.
Yes.
And I just hang out with my cats. And if I'm out too long, I just say, I can't hang out with you anymore. I have to go be with my cats now.
That's me. I need to recharge.
Yeah.
I have a nice shirt on, but I do have my sweatpants on already.
I've been home all day, so I've got it.
Yeah.
I got my lined leggings. I'm nice and cozy.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You don't have to look good from like here up
Exactly.
on the recordings.
Exactly. Makeup on the face, gremlin on the bottom. It's fine.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love it. I call myself Swamp Troll, so I like the gremlin. That's cuter.
Yes, we are cave gremlins sometimes.
Yes.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. Yeah.
So when you're doing your research for your books, have you ever had to Google anything super weird or unusual?
For me, I think the funniest is like, because this new series is set in like 1840s, 1850s between Boston and New York, area I made up, I had to do a lot of research on words that were used then and phrases that were used then and curse words and body parts. That was the most fun learning. It's amazing how the slang words for dirty stuff are used way back then. It hasn't changed much. So I was safe. I was able to use all of that. But it was also really fun coming up with phrases. And my editors are amazing at it. They're really, really tuned in for that time period. So I would use a sentence that I thought was always used. And they're like, actually, people didn't start using this till 1800s. You should try this. And the stuff that they suggested was so funny that I was just like, yes, this is going in there. Oh, hilarious. So I'm really grateful for them because most of the funny stuff was them.
Sometimes real life is funnier than fiction, for sure.
Yeah. I love things like that with history too, because like I always think about the name Tiffany and it sounds super modern, but actually it's very like, it was very common back in like medieval times.
That's the name for the effect or something too, right? Isn't it called the Tiffany effect?
I think so.
I think I've heard of something like that before.
Yeah. Whereas if you write it in a book, people wouldn't believe it's real, but then it actually is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild. Really wild. I use some weird stuff.
I love it. I love it. And then with all this writing, are there any tropes that you would never put in a book or that you never thought you would, but then you end up using because this character just calls for this trope?
I'm not a big fan of the miscommunication trope. I don't think I've full-blown used it, but in my first book, I wouldn't say it's miscommunication. It's just like she's too grumpy to get the whole story from him. I don't know if that's miscommunication. I hate when it's like teenagers and they just don't feel like telling each other. I have a hard time with that. So that I won't write. But when it's YA, it fits. That's fine with me. I'm good with reading that. But I also was going to say that I'd never do the accidental pregnancy trope, but I'm pretty sure I've done that too in a different way.
Yeah.
And it's funny, so many people hate love triangle. I love love triangle, but I knew people don't. So that's why I did the why choose. Because honestly, I couldn't choose. I originally planned for have her pick one. I couldn't do it. I really couldn't do it. So it's both.
I like a love triangle, but only if the character ends up with the person I want them to end up with.
Yes.
If they end up going with the other person, then I'm just like, this series is over to me. You're dead to me.
And I feel like in so many of the main popular books and movies, it's never who I want it to be. Like Throne of Glass, I love Kale. Love him. And everybody's like, how could you like him? He's the worst one. Well, I don't like Rowan. I don't know. But I'm the weirdo. I know it's me. No,
I don't think it is. I think there's a lot of people out there who, and I do think a lot of people do like love triangles. It's just, it's one of those things like, kind of like accidental pregnancy or other things out there is that a lot of people have gotten really loud on Book Talk, Bookstagram and stuff about things that they don't like. And then everyone kind of piles on like it's this whole effect. But I don't necessarily think that means you can't write the thing that you want to write. I don't think you ever should make that choice, right? Because there are readers out there for it, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think it depends on how it's written also. Like if you have it compelling and like still the tension between there so you really don't know also, then I'm on board. But like you said, they have to end up with who I want them to end up with.
Well, I wound up doing this because I thought it was so funny. So I have bookmarks that are Team Killian or Team Michael or Team White Hughes.
That is super cute.
But I do think it's a lot of people stand one side or the other. And the same with Shadow and Bone. I loved the Darkling because there's something clearly wrong with me. So for me, that was who I wanted her to end up with.
Yeah. Okay, so I've only watched the show, and as soon as he comes in, I'm like, they're gonna get together, right? Like, that's what's supposed to happen. But then that didn't happen, and I'm like, I'm only on season 1. But this is
heartbreaking. I know.
it.
And it's Ben
Yeah,
Barnes. I love Ben Barnes. I would have picked him in a heartbeat. Mel is boring.
yeah.
Forget Mel.
Let's go. Like, I love the villain character. Like, I always want my FMCs to end up with villains, and I'm like, yeah.
Well, you're going to like this because she gets both. One is a really, really good guy, and one is a little sketchy and also based on Ben Barnes.
I'm not into the villains. I always want the well, I like a little bit of a bad boy, but not like full on villain. My guys
Yeah.
just always end up like just soft. I just love it when they're
That's
just that bad
Michael.
and they're kind and considerate.
Yeah.
Yep,
But
that's Michael. You'll love
everyone likes
Michael.
different things, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. See, you have something for everybody. That's perfect.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it.
And the way that I look at it, I want to sleep with Killian, but marry Michael. So that's why she got both.
Yeah.
That's
That's the thing. There's what you want on the page, and then there's what you want in real life.
Yes. Michael's what I want
Yeah.
in real life. Not so much
Yes.
Killian.
fair. So you've done mostly your sci-fi and fantasy so far. Are there any other subgenre mashups you think you would do in the future, or do you think you'll stick with what you've been doing so far?
I liked having the mystery mixed into this, and my goal for, aside from the series, doing those spin-offs, I was planning on writing a sci-fi rom-com next. So my last one, even though it's a sci-fi romance, it was a little bit more serious, where I really planned to make this next one super rom-com-y. And I was at a writing retreat, not this weekend, but the weekend before, and we did this really fun exercise to create our characters. And I knew who I wanted the two main characters to be, the two girls that are friends. They're going to be going on this trip together. And I didn't know who the guys were going to be yet. I had a little bit of an idea. Well, doing this exercise, it took a wild turn and got a little bit dark. So I don't know if it's going to still be rom-com-y. I think it's going to be a bit more serious and a bit more almost like spy adventure. I don't know. So I'm going to try to still keep it funny, but it's definitely taken a turn and I'm really excited about it.
Well, then you get like sci-fi, spy adventure, rom-com, like a little dark. Yeah, I think you could do that.
Yeah. I just love blending things and being a weirdo. It's really fun.
I think that's the thing. Like, there's so many books out there. It's nice to have like a way to stand out and be different than the crowd too.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and for me, like, Touch of Clandestiny was my, right to market book. And I think it did okay in that regard, but I didn't have as much fun writing it because of that. I find that when I write for me, even if it's not what people like to read, I enjoy it more. And if I get one person that loves it, that's fine with me too. But I'm doing much better than I ever expected I would be, so I'm okay with it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It's important to love what we do.
Yeah. Readers can tell if you loved writing the book or if you hated it. That's for sure.
For sure.
And then, of course, one of the most important questions is how spicy are your books? We know it's like very subjective, but like where would you put them on the spice scale?
I would say probably like a 3. They are spicy. There's multiple scenes, but there's nothing like taboo. Anna and Killian do get a little bit violent because they both have fire powers, but it's very consensual violent and not like nobody actually gets hurt. But that's like the darkest it gets. None of my stuff is really, I mean, there's a throuple and there's a threesome in the princess book too, but nothing really bonkers. It's pretty normal. So I would say like a 3.
All right.
Nice. And then you designed your own covers, did you? Can you tell us about this process?
So I designed all of them except for Touch of Clandestiny. I did hire an artist because I had a very, very solid idea in my head. I have this really cool puzzle of Mother Nature where she had lightning in her hair and water in her hair and all these plants and flowers. And I loved it. And that's what I wanted her to embody. And when I sent it to the artist, I think she really nailed it. It's not like as detailed as the puzzle, but for what I asked for, she did a really great job.
Yeah.
I don't have those kind of artistic skills, so I couldn't do that. So I hired her for that. But the rest of them are more like, it was easier to do with stock photos. So that one I did myself. And I had a consultant help me with fonts and things like that. And she moved some stuff around. And it actually went through a couple of iterations. This is the 3rd cover design. So I did this one, then the consultant did a second one. Then I kind of blended the two into a 3rd idea. And a friend of mine who writes contemporary romance helped me tweak some stuff. So that's that one. And then these I've done myself, the Dust series. Let me just move my microphone.
That's cool. Yeah.
As I drop my microphone. Okay. So that's the first one. But what I love is it also wraps around.
Yeah. Yeah.
The back.
I love the wraparounds.
So I'm keeping the backs the same on all the books because it's their creepy house on the back.
Okay.
And then this is the second one. And I do try to sneak in some Easter egg stuff on there
Fun.
on all of the covers.
Yeah.
So I'm working on my third cover now that the book is done, trying to be consistent, but this one's hard.
Yeah.
Fair.
It's hard to do. I'm always so impressed by people who can like do the writing and the visualization of things. But I think there is such an art to like how you space things that I think people don't always even realize what goes into like making those decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that was the trick with this one. So this one, originally the really light spot, not the white, I added that white later, but the lightest part of the background was somewhere over here-ish. And my font was a little bit different. And a friend of mine who's a contemporary romance author, she also does book cover design professionally. And I showed it to her and I was like, do you have any suggestions? And she said, well, I would just move that lightest spot to the center of your page so it focuses the view there. And she asked me what time period the book was set in and said that my main font was too contemporary for the time period. So I found something a little bit older. But those were the only 2 tweaks she suggested. So I feel like I was on the right track. So I've kind of stuck with all of that as I've gone through the other ones and shifted stuff around to try to keep the focus there. But I did a lot of research. I mean, I have 4 bookshelves. I pulled down all the Romantasy books. I looked at all of their colors to see what was trendy. I looked at the fonts. I looked at the imagery. I really tried to meet the genre, but also keep it very me. So I think they are very different than what's traditional right now, but I did stick with all the right colors and fonts and things like that.
That's
awesome.
great. Yeah. And it's so good to be able to have somebody who you can like bounce those ideas off of, and they can like check you out.
I've been very lucky. I have very, very helpful friends.
Good
It's
to have
important to
friends
build
in
your
this
team,
world.
right? Your found family, your author found family,
Yeah,
especially ones that are,
exactly.
have different
Yeah.
skill sets. Like we all have different skill sets in our authoring careers, right?
Exactly. Yeah, like I help everybody with their Excel spreadsheets. That's what
I
Nice.
love
That's
that.
what I need. That's my husband's job
So,
when I can
yeah, those
drag
covers
him
are
to help me out.
Yes, he's really good at it. And those covers are absolutely just gorgeous.
Thank you.
How do they do at? I bet they do great at like live events. And do you have any live events coming up?
Yes. So I was actually really surprised because I thought the cover I paid for was going to do the best at all the live events. And honestly, it's been this one. I think right away it snatches your attention if you're into witch books. I think that really helps. I think my sprayed edges really help. Especially like Love's cover is kind of boring because it was my first go at a cover, but the sprayed edges are like so unique and so gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Yeah.
So that helps too. And for events, I have a couple this year. I think my first one is Romantasy in the Valley, which is in Hunt Valley, Maryland in July. Then the weekend after, I'm at Forbidden Love in Nashville, Tennessee. And then in September, I'm at Books in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And then Spellbound in the Valley in October in Poughkeepsie, New York, which is only like an hour from me. So that one was so much fun last year. I'm really looking forward to that.
It's nice. I love it when you can just drive to an event.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Can I ask you where you got your sprayed edges done?
So I have a girl in Florida. Her name is Sam, and she owns the Marigolden Bookshop. She does a beautiful job. She's done all my sprayed edges for me. And what's really cool is I kind of like ran into her on accident. We were at Imaginarium. As a reader, my book wasn't even out yet. I had it almost done, but it wasn't out yet. And we were both on the same street team for another author. So while I was there, I was like, hey, I'm here alone. Is anybody else coming to see this author? And she's like, yeah, I'm here too. So we met up and she had just started her business with doing candles and sprayed edges for the authors that were there. And I wound up stealing her info, which I'm really grateful because she's become so busy that she doesn't take on new authors anymore. So I got in at just the right time.
Oh, that's awesome. That's perfect.
That's so cool.
She's fantastic.
Yeah. So as for the live events, do you remember what your very first live event was? And what's the difference between how you set up now versus what you're doing?
My very first live
were doing
event
one.
was Indie Author Day at a local library where they had done absolutely no marketing.
So nobody showed up.
And yeah, so it was really funny, actually. I was really excited. Technically, my book wasn't out yet. It was like 2 weeks before my first book was coming out, but I had copies already because I'm just that kind of person that has everything done super early because I panic that everything's going to go wrong. So I had copies. All I had was some crappy, like plastic star galaxy looking tablecloth. I had a couple of things for my PR boxes, no decorations, nothing like that, a little bit of artwork and my books, and that was it. Very boring flat lay. And the only people that showed up were my dad's coworkers that he told I was going to be there. and nobody else showed up for the other authors, and I was
Aw.
so sad. but it was still a lot of fun. I made a lot of friends. So now my setup has changed a lot. I now have, I don't want to pick it up because I'll break it, but I have this like 4-tiered display thing that holds all of my character art. I've learned to take the sprayed edges and stack them up and like spin them in this really cool swirl because that looks really nice. I've got display stands that I put my tropes and the different, like basically little tidbits about each book, and I put that in front of it, and I have them themed to match the books, which I found you can have them printed on Vistaprint on cardboard, but I find it easier to just buy these plastic like 4x6 display stands. So you just print it from your printer and put it in there when you change stuff, because if you change the price or you change any information or you have a new book, it's easier to do it that way. And I also have a really cool like tree looking bookshelf that I use. I got a big retractable banner. I have a table runner. So I don't have a full tablecloth yet. That's my next step, but I've definitely leveled up a lot.
A lot of the big
goes in
events,
steps, I think.
you get your own, they provide a tablecloth anyway, so.
Yeah. But I do have I still have my old school crappy star one from my first event still in all my stuff.
Aw, that's so fun. I have one of those stretchy ones because then it's never wrinkly, which I love.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
what
do
I want to
recommend
get.
getting a stretchy one.
They're really nice.
Oh yeah. I have, and it goes like underneath the feet of the table too. So then, when it's windy outside, because like I've had it before where I didn't have one with feet, and it would just like kept blowing up onto the table. I was like, this is not.
I've done a couple outside local things, and when the wind takes out all my art, it's so disheartening. And the stickers.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh my gosh. It's just crazy. So what is your favorite thing about doing these live events? Is it like author networking? Is it meeting the readers? Is it being outside? I don't know.
Meeting the readers. I like meeting other authors too, but for me, it's the readers. And this is going to sound really cocky, I guess, but it's the one time that somebody actually knew who I was. It was like the best feeling ever. That was my favorite thing. Somebody came running up and they were like, I saw your books at Barnes & Noble. And I was like, holy crap, somebody knows who I am. Yes, it was the best feeling ever. But I love talking to readers. I love hearing about what they like to read, and also what attracts their attention. If it's the art or if it's the sprayed edges, it's really good for marketing research, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So just being an author, I feel like, is exhausting all the time. But also when you go to the live events, that's even like double. So what do you do to refill your well and look after yourself after you go to a live event? For me, it depends on the event. When it's only one day or a couple of hours, I feel pretty good because I'm a pretty introverted person. But when I'm talking to other people who love books and it's about books, it doesn't drain me as much as other stuff does. But there was one that I went to that it was a 3-day event and it was full days, like 10 to 12 hour days. And that was a lot. That I feel like I needed a vacation after that, and I had to go to work the next day. So that was really tiring. But I don't know if I really necessarily have any other than just like coming home and going to sleep. Like sleep fixes it, and I just have to not talk to people for like another week because it's the people that I don't want to talk to. If it was still book people, I'd be okay. But it's like I have to go to work and deal with that. No, just leave me alone. Yes. Yeah. Don't talk to me. I'm recovering.
Exactly. I need that on a shirt so I can just wear that the next couple days.
I like to joke if I have the giant iced coffee, like all the men know to just leave me alone. It's not a good day. There's a giant iced coffee.
Nice.
So you said like a reader had come up and like they knew who you were, which is amazing. So what is one thing not tied to money that would make you feel like you've made it as an author?
That experience definitely made me feel like I made it as an author. But I had one other one too. My very first book got picked for a book club, and I went to book club, and my parents have always thought that this was like a silly adventure and like, oh, she's writing books, whatever, it's not going to go anywhere. When I had it up on Barnes & Noble's website and they saw it, they were like, oh, okay, this is real. So now they started like telling other people about it because it was real. And when I got picked for the book club, my mom was like, oh, I'm going to come with you. I'm like, well, you've had the book for like 3 months. Did you read it? No. And so she comes, and I was expecting 3 people. It was a room full of 20 people, which I did not expect. And all of them had read it. All of them loved it. And it brought my mom to tears because here were 20 strangers telling me how wonderful my book was. And she still thought it was like this silly thing. I hope she doesn't watch this because she's going to be mad. Well, the craziest part of that was one of the people there told me that she was going through a really tough time in her life and she started doing therapy. Reading this book, she was able to relate to the character and what she was going through, that she was actually talking to her therapist about it, about how it was helping her. And that, like, I have chills. That was the most amazing thing. So I feel like that was enough to feel like I made it as an author. But I do think also you're not a real author until you have a 1-star review. So I'm waiting for that. I'm never going to read it.
Don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think so far my lowest is a 3, but I don't have that many reviews. So I'm happy with that.
All right.
Fair.
That's all
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So we just have a couple more questions here, but first, can you tell us about your book, To Love and to Perish, that comes out in September, and how listeners can pre-order it?
It's available for pre-order on Amazon right now, and that is the 3rd book in the Dust series. There's a character introduced at the end of the 2nd book that becomes a very large problem in the 3rd book. So that's mostly what the 3rd book is about. It's very exciting. I struggled with how it was going to end. I went through 3 different endings. I'm very happy with how it wound up. But it's also, like, I'm not the kind of person to cry, and I cried at the midpoint. I cried at the end. This book is going to destroy readers in the best way possible. And I'm so proud of it, but in a good way.
Yeah, that's what people want. They want to feel the feelings.
Exactly.
I've never made myself feel the feelings that hard, so hopefully it gets other people too.
Oh, yeah. And the thing is, like, I know, like, I am, and I know other readers too, are the type, like, when a book, like, just destroys us emotionally, we're like, give it to our friends. We're like,
Yes.
this book is going to, like, ruin you.
You must suffer
You
now,
should read
too.
it. Exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That was Addie LaRue for me. That book destroyed me in the best way possible. I couldn't read for like another 2 weeks after that, but it's still like my favorite book ever.
Yeah. That was me for Mayfly. I was like, I'm not sure if this is good or not, but I'm still thinking about it. And now everyone else must read it so that I can know, like, what I think about this book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me what I should be feeling.
Yep. Exactly. Because I still don't know what to feel. Like, it's like a year and a half later, and I still think about it sometimes. Of like, was it good? Was it bad? I just don't know. I don't know.
That's the best. But you're still thinking about it all this time later.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so we like to give our authors an opportunity to ask a question of our listeners as well. And then for our listeners out there, we'll be posting this on our Instagram so you can answer, or you could also comment in the YouTube video. So, Catie, what would you like to ask our listeners?
I would love to ask, because of the Team Killian, Team Michael situation, would you prefer the morally gray bad boy MMC or the sweet, intelligent, kind, soft MMC? So Killian or Michael, which one would be your type? I feel like Killian gets so much more love, and I need to bring more to Michael. So that's why the question.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah,
We'll
no,
see
that's
what they
great.
say.
Yeah. And then if you could read any trope for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
Definitely enemies to lovers. And then all the subgenres like forced proximity, one bed. It's just so good. I've read so many enemies to lovers books, and they just never get old. It's so much fun seeing that banter.
Oh, yeah.
And it's amazing.
For sure.
So much fun.
Yes. Yeah. I'll just do like a small pitch here of like my roller derby book has that. They're accidental roommates, and then they have to share only one bed during thunderstorms. And he's actually super sweet. So
yay. I love that so much.
And it ties into Nikki's roller derby also.
Which is also kind of sort of enemies-ish lovers, rivals-ish to lovers. Although I whenever I write anything that's like rivals to lovers, enemies to lovers, it always ends up just like they fall faster than maybe they should, but I can't help it because I just
you gotta get to the good part. I know.
want them to be in love like all the time.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Catie, for coming out and letting us peek behind the curtain of your author life.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so fun.
Yeah, we're just if you just want to let our listeners know where they can find you and your books, we will post the links in your show notes as well. But if you just want to let everyone know,
the best way to find me is on Instagram at Catie Reads and Writes, CATIE Reads and Writes, all spelled out because I had to be a pain like that. And my books are available on Amazon. The Dust series is available on KU. The other ones are not. They're wide, so you can even get them through the library systems. They're all on Barnes & Noble in paperback version, except for Hex, because I keep forgetting to upload it to Ingram, but it'll be there soon, I promise. And I think that's it. And you can also get them in person if you are near the Hudson Valley in New York. It's at all of my local bookstores here in Orange County. And you can also get them at all of the events that I listed. And I will have special editions, sprayed edges for all of them.
Nice.
Awesome.
And then your Kickstarter too. So
yeah.
awesome.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I can't forget about the Kickstarter. So that will be launching in this fall. I'm so bad at remembering dates. I think it's in September, but we're going to release it soon. So keep an eye out and follow. I think you can follow it already. I think we just haven't announced it, but it is secretly live.
Love it. Love it.
Awesome. Very cool.
Perfect.
Well, thank you so much. And to our listeners, if there are any questions that you wished we had asked of our amazing guests today, let us know below in the comments.
Thanks so much. It was lovely chatting with you.
Thank you.
Thanks for getting dirty with us. If you had fun, leave a review on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. New episodes will be released every Wednesday, and we've got an amazing lineup of authors to share with you.
If there's someone you'd love to see on our show, or you've got burning questions for your favorite authors, send us an email to backstagewiththebookbabes@gmail.com or leave us a comment on our social media accounts. You can find us on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok, Backstage with the Book Babes. Links and applications for authors to join us as guests are at linktree/Backstage with the Book Babes.
You can follow me, Albie Blake, with that handle on social media, specifically Instagram and TikTok.
You can follow me, Nikki Jewell, and learn about my books at authornikkijewell.com. I'm also on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at NikkiJewell_books.
Thanks again for joining the party. Keep turning those pages and keep it spicy.